let's talk about AI and our jobs. Because, the conversation has shifted. It's no longer about if AI is coming for our jobs, it's already here. It is reshaping the entire global workforce, and it's happening way faster than anyone thought possible. So the real question is this a story about destruction, or is it the beginning of a massive, massive transformation? Let's dive into the data and see what's really going on. Okay, take a look at this number, 300 million. Just let that sink in for a second. What do you think that represents? It's not the population of some country, it's not the revenue of a huge tech company. Nope, it's something much, much more personal to all of us. That's right, it's the number of jobs worldwide that are going to be touched, changed, or just flat out disrupted by AI in less than a decade. It's a staggering figure for sure, but a number like that doesn't really tell the whole story. So today, we're going to break it all down and figure out what this really means for you and your career. All right, so here's the plan. First, we're going to feel the full force of the AI shockwave. Then we'll tackle that big question. Is this destruction or transformation? We'll look at a huge problem called the missing career rung, and then shift to your 4 secret weapons, the human superpowers AI can't touch. And finally, we'll lay out a playbook for how to thrive in this new world. Okay, first up, the AI shockwave. Before we can figure out where we're going, we have to get real about where we are. We've got to look at the hard numbers head on and really, truly grasp the scale of what's happening. And wow, the sheer scope here is something else. We're not talking about just one little corner of the economy. The World Economic Forum says 85 million jobs are likely to be replaced. The IMF says almost 40%, 40, of all jobs are going to feel this. But look at that last number. Almost 78,000 jobs in tech lost specifically to AI in just the first 6 months of 2025. This isn't some far-off future problem. It's happening right now. And this is where it gets really interesting, because for the first time, automation is hitting white-collar, cognitive jobs the hardest. I mean, look at data entry and admin support, a 95% automation risk. Why? Well, because an AI can process 1,000 documents in an hour with basically 0 errors. It's the same story for paralegal work, customer service, even parts of finance. These are fields built on processing information, and AI is fundamentally rewriting the rules. So it sounds pretty grim, right? But hold on, because job loss, that's only half the story. Let's move on and look at a totally different picture. Is this really just destruction, or is it a transformation? This isn't just about jobs disappearing. It's a massive reshuffling of the entire labor market. All right, this right here is the slide that changes everything. Yes, the World Economic Forum projects AI will displace around 92 million jobs by 2030. But, and this is a huge but, it also predicts AI will create 170 million new ones. I mean, just look at that contrast. This isn't a story of net job loss. It's a story of profound, massive change. And when you look at it visually, it's crystal clear. That's a net gain of 78 million jobs globally. So that whole narrative about mass unemployment, about robots taking over everything, it doesn't really hold up to the data. The real story here is one of transformation, not total elimination. But what does a transformation of that size actually feel like for the people in it? Well, it feels like churn, a lot of churn. A net gain in jobs doesn't mean it's going to be a smooth and easy ride. What it really means is that nearly a quarter of all jobs that exist today are going to be in flux. People won't just be losing jobs, they'll be changing jobs, retraining and adapting at a pace we have never, ever seen before. And this churn, it creates a really tough challenge for one group in particular. Which brings us to this idea of the missing career rung. Because while the big picture numbers show a net gain, the most painful crisis is happening at the very beginning of the career ladder, for young people who are just trying to get their start. The heart of the problem is something called learning curve automation. Think about it. How do you learn a new job? You start with the simple repetitive stuff, right? The grunt work. That's how you learn the ropes. But here's the thing. AI is now incredibly good at that digital grunt work. It is literally automating the training wheels for entire careers. And this quote from a recent report by Resi just nails it. The old deal was simple. You do the boring work, and in exchange, you get to learn from senior people. You get mentorship. But that deal is breaking down. I mean, why would a company pay a junior employee to learn a task when an AI can do it instantly for pennies on the dollar? And the data here is, well, it's brutal. Just focus on that first number for a second. A drop of nearly 30 percentage points in true, actual entry-level job postings. For a recent grad, that means the door is slamming shut before they can even get a foot in.
It creates this impossible catch-22, where even the jobs advertised for beginners are now demanding years of experience that they have no possible way of getting. So that's the problem, and it's a big one. But what's the solution? This is where the story pivots. This is where we start talking about your 4 human superpowers, the core abilities that AI just can't replicate, and because of that, they're becoming more valuable than ever before. So here they are. First, emotional intelligence. We're talking about genuine empathy, building real trust, something an algorithm can't fake. Second, creative innovation, having a truly original idea, not just remixing existing data. Third is physical dexterity, working with your hands in the complex, messy physical world. And finally, ethical judgment. Think about a doctor who uses an AI for a diagnosis. The AI gives them the data, the probabilities, but it's the human doctor who has to make that final, difficult judgment call, weighing everything about the patient's life. So, the crucial point is this. The path forward is not about trying to beat AI at its own game: calculation, speed, data processing. You'll lose every time. No, it's about doubling down on what makes us uniquely human. As the AI expert Dr. Kai-Fu Lee puts it so perfectly, machines don't have hearts. All right, so this brings us to our final section, thriving in the AI era. Now that we understand the landscape, the challenges, and our unique advantages, what's the practical playbook? What do we actually do to build a successful career from this point forward? Here's the big secret. The future isn't humans versus AI. It's humans with AI. The most valuable professionals, the ones who are going to win, will be those who can use AI as a tool to amplify their own human skills. This combination is so powerful that economists actually have a name for it. They call it a hybrid skill premium. And yeah, it comes with a pretty serious pay bump. And that premium is very, very real. On average, workers who have these specific AI skills, who know how to guide and leverage these powerful tools, they command a 56% wage premium over their peers who don't. That is a massive financial incentive to adapt and learn. And just look at the brand new roles that are starting to pop up. Some people are calling them synthetic occupations because they are literally synthesized by combining human skills with AI tech. A context engineer, for example, their job is to connect an AI model to a company's unique internal data. An AI ethics officer makes sure these systems are used responsibly. These aren't science fiction. These are high-value, high-paying jobs being created right now. So what does this all mean for you today? Well, here is a simple 3-step path forward. 1. Develop hybrid skills. Don't just learn to code, learn to combine that skill with creative thinking or ethical judgment. 2. Become an AI collaborator. Focus on learning how to direct, manage, and most importantly, verify what AI produces. And 3. Explore new pathways. Since that first career rung is broken, look at alternatives like tech apprenticeships. They've grown almost 30% in just 4 years because they are a new way to get in the door. Look, at the end of the day, the data is clear. This isn't an apocalypse, but it is a revolution. And like every revolution in history, it's going to create winners and losers. It will empower the people who adopt, and it will displace the ones who don't. So the final question isn't about the technology, really. It's a personal one. Which side of this revolution will you choose to be on?